about the Indian market in depth. But is there anybody in this room who knows which was the first market, the first biggest country which started development of renewable energies and solar energy? Germany. This was a good answer. Germany. And do you know why the German market actually kicked off? Feed-in tariff. And actually, thanks to Germany, actually we are here. We have the business. And it is a great pleasure to present a person who introduced the renewable energy law in Germany, Mr. Hans-Josef Fell. So I would like to ask you for applause, yeah, because thanks to him, we are here. And I would like to invite Mr. Hans-Josef Fell to the stage. Please, Hans. So this is history of renewable energies and history of solar. I also would like to invite William, the guy thanks to whom actually we are also here. So William, please join us. I would like to invite also William Zhu. William, please. Partner of Talesun and also one of the co-organizers of the event. And I would like to invite Ketan. Ketan, come on, join us. So yesterday we had a great discussion with Ketan about his history in solar. He's so young, but already has quite successful history in solar. And I would like to invite Bhupesh. Bhupesh is a quite important person because he's working with the investors. Ah, here. He's working with the investors, so this is the guy who advises them on choosing the right suppliers. And first, I would like to invite to give some opinion about India, because Hans, when I told him we are going to India, he said, Tomasz, I have to be there. I was helping to develop European market, and now I believe that India will become one of the most important countries in solar energy. I would like to support India. I would like to come. I would like to give my testimony. And he's so excited. So Hans, why you are so excited actually?
Thank you first, Thomas, for your kind introduction. Thank you, William, for this event with Talesun. I think it is important. I'm impressed to stay here in India. I'm coming from Europe, seeing that renewables are growing, investment is great in some parts, and I awaited India as a country. There is a lot of sun, but not many photovoltaics. But now I could see there is a new impressive situation. Since President Modi and President Hollande from France decided the Solar Alliance at the climate conference in Paris last December, since this time I see there is a great movement now in India, supported by the government. They decided to invest for 175 gigawatt renewable energy by 2022. That's a great goal, indeed. And it must be fulfilled with a lot of companies, and I could see them by the UBM organized Renexpo 2016 here in Greater Noida. I see a lot of companies, a lot of people who work on it, on this vision. And I believe the goal will come achieved earlier than 2022. Some points. First is, at the moment, the Indian government supports still nuclear power investment and coal power investment. Instead of they want to make climate protection, it is not a good option for climate protection. We must cancel all the conventional energies, nuclear power because of the threats. We know them in Germany because therefore the whole Germany, all parties decided to phase out nuclear power. We have good reasons. And my advice is for India, avoid the disasters what we have on financial side with nuclear power. And the second point is coal power is a threat for the climate. And this shows it already in the world. When you see really to a lot of pension funds, banks and others who finance energy projects, more and more CEOs of them tell us climate protection is important, we don't invest fossil energy. Divestment is this movement called. 3 trillion US dollar assets decided to divest, to give no money for fossil and nuclear. And they have a second point. Look to the oil price. It went down, surprisingly for many energy advisors and analysts, since nearly 2 years. And it made a big threat to the oil companies, natural gas companies, coal companies, because oil prices went down. The finance industry now looks to this disaster and says, what is with my money? Where is the return of investment? We invested with a high oil price for a return of investment and now it is gone. More and more investment in fossil goes to bankrupt. The biggest private coal miner, US Australian company Peabody Energy, this April they went to bankrupt because of low oil price and others. This is the beginning of a new situation in the world. The situation means the financiers believe fossil and nuclear is out, renewable is the only option. And therefore I believe it will also run in India faster than from the politicians decided. And when I have time, I would like to share one new vision with you, where renewables would be very, very important included. Remember in 2000, we as a parliamentarians in the German parliament seeked for solutions for the world to come out of oil wars, of climate warming, of degrading land, poverty, refugees, and all the challenges what we see now that they could become greater in the last years. The solutions we find out would be renewable energies. But in 2000, renewable energies were very expensive. So we created a feed-in tariff law to make an industry, movement, mass production, research development, and the result is clear. 15 years later, now solar and wind is the cheapest energy option of the world. There is no need on economic level to go to nuclear, coal, to oil and gas. Renewables are cheaper. And this begins to bring my second vision to the world. We have to green degraded land, desert land, to give the people in rural areas new income, to fight against poverty, to bring prosperity to India by the whole and all other countries where we have too much poverty. And this is possible. To green the land, we need water. Take electricity from photovoltaic and wind and desalinate on your coastlines, marine water for irrigation. Take it with a safe irrigation. Take high upstandard photovoltaic modules to shadow the soil. You save the water in the soil. Take your municipal organic waste from animals, from people, from agriculture. Make and fertilize soil with it, bring it to the deserts and to the degraded land. In that combination, we can regreen big areas. And I'm so happy to see the video of Talesun at the moment. Talesun is beginning to realize this vision. I could see agro-photovoltaic with corn, with vegetable, under the modules, to regreen devastated land. That's a vision what we need for the whole world. And when we create 20% of the degraded land of the world with greening the land with such methods, we can store so many carbon from the atmosphere, then we can cool down the earth and overcome the climate warming. It's possible to organize it. Let's work on this vision together.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy that it was possible to bring Hans here to India, because this revolution started in Germany. And then afterwards, this revolution was continued thanks to the guys like William, and thanks to the big companies in China who helped the world to reduce prices for solar. And I would like to ask you, William, because you are representing one of the most important companies in the world. You have experience for a lot of markets, and you are coming to the country also to contribute. And I believe that you also would like to share your vision with the Indian colleagues.
Actually, we started our business from the project development, not really supply the modules to the USA, to the Indian markets. So we had a lot of experience in China for project development, investment, and EPC job as well. When we come to the Indian markets, we find it's quite similar as the Chinese market. Size is very important. Everyone here is talking about 100 megawatts and gigawatts pipelines. It's same as in China. Okay. Indian market is growing very fast. You can see last year, I forget the number, it's 3 to 4 giga installation. I think this year, maybe my number is wrong. Okay, I never asked someone. Should be over 5 giga or 6, something like this.
Maybe 7.
Maybe 7. So it's almost a double, growing very fast. Purely similar as China. Okay. So I think not Talesun. Every suppliers in this market, we are seeing Indian is the most important market in the overseas market, not including China. Most important one. Not one of the most important one. Because the size is quite, is unlike the USA market. Normally, in the USA market, you cannot see 100 megawatts SPV for one project. But in the India, 100 megawatts or 50 megawatts is quite normal. Okay? So that is the reason everyone is here. So another result, the price of the module is dropping. I think when I see the price of a module is dropping, I will get your attention immediately. Right. So my Chinese colleague asked me, William, why not the Indian clients not buy the inverter from China? They buy from the local. I said, simple. If they squeeze 1 cent from the module, it's enough. Why should they spend time with the Chinese inverter supplies? It's true. Look, Manish, what is the price of the Chinese module beginning of this year? You don't know. I tell you, okay, it's 40x cents. Now, what is the price? Because Indians' requirements is leading the supply chain side, and everyone is eager to come to this market. We want to get this order. Even in the future, we will involve into the project as well. So I think Indian markets really give a lot of the influence for the solar industry. So from Talesun side, we are thinking Indian market will still continue growing and still take the leading position in the solar industry. Thanks.
So, William, it's very interesting what you said. And maybe I was very surprised yesterday, actually, because I was making an interview with Ketan, who is here. And imagine, guys, just a few years ago, he finished college and with his colleagues created a company, which is now becoming one of the leading companies in the country. And it's very important that first, at the beginning, we had pioneers like Hans, who introduced the law. Then we have companies like Talesun, who is helping to grow the global markets. But at the end of the day, in India, I think that very important are the local players who are building the projects, who are developing the market. And I'm so happy that, you know, also the young, well-educated guys, they are coming here. They are bringing motivation, they are bringing enthusiasm. And Ketan, so could you tell us, from your perspective, how do you see the development of the Indian market? How would you like to see the place of your company in this market? And what would be your advice also for international viewers later who will watch the movie? How do they should react with partners here in India?
So I think, first of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to be in this panel. And though it was a last-minute decision, but I really appreciate that. So coming back to the Indian solar market, I think globally speaking, right now we are already the third largest in the world in a span of, what, 4 or 5 years. Solar mission was launched just 5-6 years back. And India is already the third largest market, and maybe it will be the second largest by next year. So, of course, the growth has been phenomenal, I would say the least. And being a company started when the solar mission started, we have witnessed the entire growth since start of solar mission. So, I mean, it was not long back, I think 2011, 2012, when a plant of, we were setting up some 1 or 2 megawatts in India, and that was considered huge. You know, it's a huge investment, it's a risky investment. Today, I think even if somebody talks about 5 or 10 megawatt, nobody listens, you know, because the scale has changed so much. You know, it become 100 times in 4 years. So it's a phenomenal growth. So I think now I am convinced it is not going to change. There is no way, you know, this surprise is going to stop. And every year, I think there was a prediction I was reading in some technical, I think some survey or something, where there is a per month reduction in solar module prices, which is estimated at some 1.5 or 1.8% per month. So that is the kind of revolution which is happening. It is not happening long term. It is happening every month. So I think I've never seen any technology, any industry, any sector which is changing every month. You know, every month we have to reevaluate. We have to rethink our strategies, our models, our you know, every business. So like I was telling you yesterday also, I think we've reevaluated our business models every year. We've changed. We've never done the same business, though we are in solar. We've never done the same business for 2 consecutive years. Every year we have to change our business models. It's just such a fast-moving industry, and it's really exciting. So I think the way things are, I am very convinced that, you know, even this 100 gigawatt will seem very small in no time. And I really don't see. Of course, there are challenges. India is a very difficult market. International investors are not really, you know, tuned to work in such difficult conditions where. But I think the good thing which is happening is, I think India is the most transparent market if you see on the FIT. Neither Africa, neither China, nor, I think I was talking to some Chinese developers that, you know, if you're getting 15 cents in China, why are you investing in India in 7 cents or, you know, 7 or 8 cents? I think they said, you know, at 15 cents, we don't know whether the power will be evacuated. We don't know whether this PPA will last. There is no certainty in that 15 cent. We are comfortable at 7 cent firm commitment from the government rather than a 15 cent infirm commitment from, you know, somebody. So that was a really startling revelation. So I think India is a very, very transparent market now, at least. There is a clear vision. There is a clear policy mandate from the central government. It is being followed up so rigorously. There is a, I'll tell you a ground level example. There is a WhatsApp group which has been created by these secretary level officers and the ministerial people, and they follow up on every project on that WhatsApp group. You know, it's really surprising. I've never seen this happening anywhere else in the world. So that is a kind of push, that is a kind of follow-up which is there from the top. And of course, it's a global commitment, so there is no going back on this. The commitment has been made at the highest levels. There is a lot at stake, for the government also, for everyone. And it will be a matter of pride if, we, take over and become the largest market in the world in next 2 to 3 years. That will be a very moment of pride for everyone. So I see this as also a way where, you can affect the lives of common people, common man. Because the biggest advantage with solar is it is modular. It can be put on this wall, it can be put on your roof, it can be put anywhere, on any equipment. It can put, you can put in large fields, you can put in large areas, you can put in anywhere. So it can really affect the lives of common people. The innovation which you can do with this, technology, with so many modular systems coming out, so much innovation you can do. 50 crore people in India live without electricity, that is what is said. I think the only way to power them is solar. There is no other way I see how you can reach the tribal areas, how you can reach Northeast, how you can reach Jammu and Kashmir, how you can reach the most remotest areas. I think this is the only way, and the good part is India is bestowed with, I think the entire country has got good sunlight. From north to south, we've got good sunlight. I think except some hill stations and some areas, I think every area is a good area for solar. So if Germany, if Spain with 6 months of sunlight can do such wonders, I'm sure India with 300 clear sunny days can do more. So thank you.
Okay, Ketan, I would like to ask you one more question, because we discussed with a lot of IPPs, EPCs, and project developers, and I was very surprised actually, because around the world, people, they think that India is just the price, there is bad quality, people, they don't care about quality. But actually, all the IPPs, all the EPCs, they said, Tomasz, these guys are wrong, because the most important actually for us, besides the price, is the quality. Do you agree with this? And when you choose suppliers, do you think that Talesun is a good partner for the business?
So just to use that example, we've already used Talesun in one of our first projects. So we've had a good experience. So, I have good recommendation for these equipments. Having said that, I think it's a very big misnomer. I would say Indians are very hard negotiators. That is, of course, that is there. But I don't think anybody would compromise on quality. Anybody in India, I have never met somebody who will say, give me any quality, but I need a good price. I've never seen anybody say that. So I think Indians are only hard negotiators, nothing more than that.
Yeah, I think this is, please some applause, because you are guys who are hard negotiators. So maybe before giving floor to William, I will also ask the person, because like in the business, the most important besides the equipment is money, yes? And this is the guy who is representing investors. So how do you see, the investor, let's say, are they already accustomed with solar? Are they ready to invest in solar? Do they see their opportunity in solar, or is it still like in the past they were so quite untrustful to solar?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about investors in particular, it's been a love and hate relationship with this particular sector. Today, if you look at the kind of investment that's happening in India, is largely coming in from international markets. We still have Indian developers who are ruling the roost. They are doing maximum number of projects, but the funding still comes largely from international markets. If you talk about non-IPPs, typical investors who are looking at parking their funds, who are looking at very steady asset-based returns from the solar, they all have walked out of the market largely because of the low tariffs, the low returns, the low IRRs that they are getting from the market. We have good IPPs who are working here, who are happy, and they are able to serve investors whose equity IRR targets are even lesser than 14%. So to that extent, those developers are happy, those investors are happy. But for the market to really happen in a big way, so largely there are quite a few investors who are actually the Indian born. If the sector has to grow, if the Indian solar has to genuinely grow at the grassroots level, we need Indian investors, and we don't really need to depend on international funds coming into the country. And Indian investors today look at post-tax equity IRRs of more than 16%, which today solar is not offering. But beyond that, I mean, let me go beyond investors. I mean, I'll relate this to investors, but the bigger challenge that we see right now is, it's like typically the stock market game. You know, in stock markets, when the markets are at a very, very high level, you shouldn't be buying, you should be typically selling. Now, we are in India, we are reached a stage where there is some kind of a euphoric situation where everybody is going gaga over, yes, solar is great, solar is great. But the world over, everybody knows solar is a cyclical sector. And in India, if you talk about solar projects, solar tenders, in the last year and a half, initially we saw almost 12 gigawatts of tenders coming in from the government, almost an average of 1 gigawatt per month. But in this particular financial year, since April, a total of only 1.5 gigawatts of tenders have come out till date, which we are close to completing 6 months. So there is obviously a slowdown which is happening, and this will not be felt immediately. This will be felt in the next financial year when you see that there are not too many projects under implementation. From an investor's perspective, somebody who's sitting on cash pile, who's wanting to invest his surplus funds, he wants to look at consistency in business, which solar is not offering. Solar is not the nature, it's not in the DNA of the business to be a very structured or stable business. It's a very cyclical business. So opportunities will happen on and off. Risks, there are multiple risks for investors. Like in India, if you're talking about states like Tamil Nadu, where they have said no to taking of power from solar power projects. There are risks in states like Karnataka, where they have the KERC, which is a regulatory body in the state. It has ruled that scheduling has to be done by wind and solar power projects. Now, all these are issues which an investor needs to be aware of. And that's really the challenge. It will evolve, the industry will mature, markets will mature, investors will mature, but I don't think we have reached that stage yet.
Okay, so thank you so much. And maybe now I will ask William, who is working for one of the founders of Vooyage Solar, the company which is partner of Talesun. So you became one of the top 5 players in China for the marketing solutions, and now you came to India also to contribute to the Indian market, and I'm sure that you are also so ambitious here on the market. So what are your plans here in India? How do you see that your company can help the Indian customers? And actually, why you are here with other William?
Thank you. And I'm glad Vooyage Solar have opportunity to organize this event with Talesun. And basically, I answer 3 questions for this night. The first question is why Vooyage Solar come to India. And when I look TV, I see the Premier of India, Modi, told until 2022, India will build 100 gigawatts solar farm. So this is, how to say, this is a big number. And that means every year, at least 10 gigawatts or more than 100% increase. And also I talked with my friend, William, why you come to India. He said, you forget about Japan, forget about the Middle East, forget about Africa. You know, Vooyage Solar is a very good margin market in the European. But last year, in UK, the government cut 7% of FIT totally. And suddenly the market disappeared. And the next market, we look about Japan. Now, the FIT of Japan is 50% less than the first he launched the solar project. So the India government is increasing or pushing the solar. So that's why Vooyage Solar come to Japan. So that's we are targeting. So the next question is, who is Vooyage Solar? What is Vooyage Solar? Vooyage Solar is a company based in Shanghai. We are a global company. We have office in Japan, in UK, and in Thailand. And very soon we would have our India team. And our company is our vision is that become top 5 mounting supplier, not only in China, but globally. We have our, we have 20% technical team, and we have more than 30 people sales team. We can offer global sales service. So basically, Vooyage Solar, we have capacity 1 year, 900 megawatts, and every month we can deliver 80 megawatts, something like this. So this is what we are doing. We are mounting supplier. This is Vooyage Solar. We can do all kind of solution, trackers and grounding. So, and the last question is, what is advantage of Vooyage Solar to other mounting suppliers? Our key element of Vooyage Solar, the number one, the first is service. We offer key service, local service. We offer our customer one-to-one service. Mounting is not only about supplying the material, it's one part of EPC. We need to calculate the wind, the snow, and we need to respect the culture. India is a very specific culture. We need to involve in this culture. So we think number one is service. The second key point, I think, is the quality. When we sorry,
I think,
when we talk about
maybe they don't like quality here.
I will end my speech very soon, and we can start the lucky draw or anything. Yeah, that's more interesting. Okay, and so the third point is, the quality is very important for the solar farm. The 2 points is the stability and the durability. So stability, you need to lasting for 25 years, and durability, the coating and the quality, you need to very carefully control. So I want to end my speech with what Hans said. His vision said, in very soon, solar would be the cheapest energy in the world. And Vooyage Solar vision is that when there is a solar farm, there is Vooyage Solar mounting. Thank you very much.
William, just because you forgot to say why you are here with William, is because he's your friend or there is something else?
He is my very good friend. We know each other many years, and he is also our customer. Maybe he has so many solar farm. Talesun invests so many solar farm internationally.
Yes, but I would like to just finish with last question. So, all of you guys, do you believe that India will achieve 100 gigawatt by 2022? William, we can start with you. And if yes, why?
Actually, I definitely have the belief that India can achieve this target because the cost is going down every year, and technology is improving. India is very fast developing economically and in all aspects. So solar is the key energy for the future energy. So government would put all emphasis and all the money and all the support in different aspects for this side. So I have very confident on this.
I think it is imperative. I don't have any doubts. Of course, it was clear from my speech. But I feel, more than the number, 100 gigawatt, I don't think there is any scientific background of 100 gigawatt, just a good number. It looks good. But I think more than that, it will be important that, it solves the power problem in India. That will be more critical. I think I would like to see is that all the people in the country who don't get power today, in some way or the other, they are beneficiary of this entire scheme and policy where, they are empowered and they get what they've been missing for last so many years.
And now let's ask Hans. I think Hans said that India will reach even more than 100 gigawatt. So could you justify that?
Yes, I believe India will achieve more than 100 gigawatt photovoltaics and solar by 2022. They will exceed it the same level by renewables by the whole, 175 gigawatt, together with wind, hydro, bioenergy and others, will also over-succeed it. It is because all the renewables become cheaper, and therefore we have less and less competition from nuclear coal, from natural gas and mineral oil. It will decline. The next 2 or 3 years we will find fighters for the old business, but they will lose with the finance industry and therefore it will explode. And you have the need to include all renewable energies. For example, yes, storage together with photovoltaic will bring solar electricity into the night. But when you want to achieve 100% renewables, it is very, very difficult to make it only with solar and storage. The wind helps. Bioenergy helps, not only for solution for balancing the fluctuation of wind and solar, but also for greening your land, make new biofuels. I saw here at my hotel a brook is flowing completely black with organic waste. Take it out, make a fuel, clean your water. This means energy from bioenergy. Make your waste management together. So we have a lot of positive advantages when we think it together. And so I would advise you, go together. Siege Wind Power Company, bring it together with a hydropower company, with bioenergy, and make combined projects. 100% renewable solutions immediately for the whole village to bring them to 100% renewables. That's what the world needs and what more and more in the world wants. We have whole nations who have the target with 100% renewables by 20 or 30 years. Denmark, Sweden, Costa Rica in Middle America, and other countries. We have big cities like Sydney, like Vancouver, like Munich, Frankfurt, San Francisco, Doha. We have in China cities who have the target with 100% renewables by 20 or 30 years. It would be great if you as business people realize it in the villages, in the towns, and when you daily will follow up San Francisco and Vancouver and set the target with 100% renewables, that would be perfect.
Thank you so much, Hans. And now I will ask William, because he represents one of the largest companies in the world, and he's also planning the sales activities for the next years. So do you believe that India will reach this 100 gigawatt goal? And how many gigawatts out of this 100 will be supplied by Talesun?
Good question. I think the 100 giga is nothing, frankly.
Who agrees 100 gigawatt is nothing? Who agrees?
It's nothing. You just calculate how many megawatts of module now from China to Delhi. It's nothing, okay? And you ask me, they can reach this target or not, of course. And how much percentage from Talesun? Now we are trying to get 2 digits percentage market share. So probably from 5 to 10 giga is our target. Yes.
So you need to increase capacities. Yes?
Why not?
Okay. So what is your opinion?
100 gigawatt by 2022? No. 100 gigawatt by 2027-28? Yes. We will definitely adopt solar. We'll adopt solar across the country. But 2022 is, if you're talking about 2022, we are talking about 6 years. In 6 years, we are talking about almost close to 90 gigawatts, which means we need 15 gigawatts of projects happening every year. And that is not happening. Out of this entire target, out of this 100 gigawatts, 40 gigawatts has been earmarked by the government for rooftop. Rooftop market is largely controlled by state discoms, and they are not allowing solar to happen. So there are many impediments happening. So 40 gigawatts in rooftop where state discoms are influencing the solar power sector, that also will be a very, very slow market in India. So yeah, again, coming back, 100 gigawatts, yes, but definitely not by 2022.
Okay, so we have very optimistic opinion of Hans-Josef Fell. We have less optimistic, but I think that let's ask the audience, guys, who believes that India will reach 100 gigawatt by 2022? Oh, you are so pessimistic.
I will offer you best price in the module.
Let me tell. In
Give us the money also to invest.
In 2000, we set in Germany a target by 2010 to double the share of renewables from 6 to 12%. We were told it is completely unrealistic and impossible because renewables would be too expensive, we have no mass production, no factories and nothing. But all the people who believed it would be unachievable now see we achieved in Germany 17%, 50% more than believed. And now are renewables cheap, and now they can run. When it was easy in times where it was expensive, why should we not achieve 100 gigawatt photovoltaic in India now when it is the cheapest source? So be optimistic, it will come, and much more.
Yes, thank you so much, Hans. And I can tell you one thing, because I started in solar 14 years ago. I was working for 5 years in European Photovoltaic Industry Association. And we always had 3 scenarios. There was like a pessimistic scenario, business like usual, and optimistic. And always we realized 2 times bigger than optimistic. And I believe that the same will happen in India. And it will happen also thanks to guys like you. Thanks to guys who are sitting here, and thanks to guys who are sitting there. And I believe that if this guy came here, it's not for nothing. And I would like to ask you guys, come to us, let's make some family picture with Hans-Josef Fell. Come to us.
ਤੂੰ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਤੋਂ